This electric scooter is under $1,000 and they say we can go 40 miles an hour.
Yeah, right around 37 on my GPS.
And do 56 miles of range. It runs on dual 1,000 watt motors and is called the Ausom L2 Max dual motor electric scooter. It is currently on sale in the link below this video, but don't buy this scooter just yet. We're gonna review it, I'm gonna show you all about it, and we're gonna see how awesome it is. Here's what it looks like when you get out of the box. I'd say it's a relatively compact scooter. And right away we can see a spare NFC card indicating we will have NFC unlock. It's got dual charge ports and also dual 1,000 watt motors running on 48 volts. Here's what the tires look like. They are 10-inch tires, 10x3 to be specific. So you get that same exact motor on the rear, 48 volt, 1,000 watt. The deck doesn't appear to have like any sort of grippy material on it, but on the back, this is like a rubbery, grippy material. Where you plant your foot to put the power down. And it is a full suspension scooter with a coil shock on the rear. Looks like we get that same exact coil shock up front. You can adjust it here. So let's take a look at the latching mechanism. So that unscrews, you can drop this down, watch your fingers. And when I put that up, this little piece kind of latches in there. So it's kind of locked in place. And then you take this piece, play your little game of Tetris and snug it up. So it comes mostly assembled, just got to get those handlebars on. Here's the screen and our two main NFC unlocks. Over on the right, we have a trigger style throttle, controls, power button, ergonomic grips with a little cutout in the middle, horn, DDM, probably turn signals, and mechanical brakes. So I think it has regen too, but we do get mechanical brakes on both the front and the back. And this little latch right here, so you can fold the whole thing down, and that'll clip right on here so you can pick it up. Net weight of the scooter is 73 pounds. It's not super light. I've definitely seen heavier. And this one is rated to carry 287 pounds. So let's try and power it on. And we're locked out without our NFC chip, but put the NFC chip on and boom, look at them lights, bro. So that is pretty cool, man. I have not seen lights on the top of a deck before. And to show you the size of this deck, here is a size 13 shoe on it, two size 13 shoes. So here's how you would be riding, probably roughly like this. And it does have a light on the rear, lights up when I grab the brake lever. Holding the plus button turns on the lights. So it's got a little rear light, and then you grab the brake lever, lights up brighter. And it's got this headlight up front that turns with the wheel. Also on front, we have a USB port and USB-C for charging your cell phone. Stem actually feels pretty solid. So up on the dash, we get odometer, eco mode, light shows on. Hold this button to turn off the light. Miles per hour on the right. Battery, let's tap the power button. So it shows us the voltage. We're sitting at 50.7, odometer, trip, and we get eco mode, sport mode, race mode. So 3 modes. Then on the left, looks like we have the DDM button, and that will light up red, and then it shows 2 motors on there. So that activates your dual motor, would be my guess. Check out the turn signals. It does indicate your signal is on up here on the dash. And there is our right turn signal. Flipping on the left turn signal shows that. Doesn't look like signals on the back, but you can kind of see them. No real signals on the front. And we also get a horn. Let's press it and see what the dog thinks. It's a little ding. Zephyr says, cool, bro. Ooh, that is really high pitch. So I'm gonna hop on board. Literally on board. Handlebars are pretty tall. I'm 6'5". They come up to a good height for me. Suspension feels fine. Try the throttle. I think we have to kickstart it. I'm not sure what I'm doing, bro. So let's get off for a rip. I mean, after we charge it with the charger, which is a 1.5 amp charger. So a little bit over 13 hours to charge from empty to full with that charger. Because it is a 20.8 amp hour battery pack divided by 1.5 amps. All right, dudes, let's check out the Ausom L2 Max and see how this thing performs. Unlock it with the NFC chip, got the lights on. I guess you can double tap this plus button, doot doot, and it'll turn off those lights if you don't want them on, doot doot. We do want them on. And of course, we'll track our official range on today's ride. They say up to 56 miles. We'll see about that. So popping in the elevator here, pretty dark. Here's what the lights are looking like. Hold that plus sign for your front light. Decent brightness. You have a little brake light on the back. We're lit, bro. And let's go ahead and try the hill climbing performance on the 20% grade. We have it on race mode, dual motor, and unfortunately, from a dig, we don't get any power. We could probably change that in the settings. So a little bit of a push off to get it rolling. And there we go. It's got the juice pulling us up about 13 or so. 13 miles an hour, that is. So we do have a 1,000 watt motor on front and back 48 volt system. Pretty peppy feeling due to those 10-inch wheels. Short wheels give you more of a feeling of torque and acceleration. Let's hit this pothole right here. Oh,
short wheels don't quite eat the bumps as well as taller wheels. Let's dial this thing down a bit. We have it, I just put it on the single motor now, and we'll take it off race mode, put it down to eco. This menu, this screen is a little bit hard to see out here in the bright California sun, but a little push off here on eco mode, pretty gentle. So if you want to extend your range, drop it on down to eco mode. This thing will carry you along on eco mode right at about 15 miles an hour. And honestly, this is like a nice, comfortable commuting speed. So this is like an affordable electric scooter, under $1,000 So you could utilize that front motor or both motors or rear motor. Sorry, not just front motor. It's probably just rear motor we're on right now. I am noticing handlebars come up nice and high. They're wide. We got these ergonomic grips. I don't know what the cutout on the hole on the grip is for, but that's fine. Let's try sport mode. So middle mode here before we go to race mode on race mode on single motor. So sport mode, maybe a little bit of bump in power there. This is bringing us up to about 20 miles an hour. Plenty to go faster than a bicycle, as we can see there. And then we got one more on single motor. So we're on race mode single motor, and this is bringing us up to about 24. And let's try the brakes. So it is mechanical brakes, but I think there's like some regen. It said EABS on the brakes. I don't know, man. I can't tell. I feel like it's just mechanical brakes right now. I did bring the manual if we need to get in there and check that out. So right now we are not utilizing that front motor on race mode. Just a chill amount of power. So even from a dig on race mode, well, we can't completely stop because it won't give us power without a push off. It's like you gotta be going about 5 or so. You know, it's a pretty, newbie, beginner-friendly level of power on single motor, even on race mode. So it's a pretty approachable scooter, I would say. So I bumped it back down to eco mode, and now we're gonna press the DDM button to put it on dual motor. And on eco, yeah, I mean, it doesn't really go crazy on you. Let's slow it down here. So eco mode, dual motor. Yeah, even on dual motor, it's not insane off the line. I mean, as expected, really. So even on dual motor, that'll kind of cut your speed off right around 17. Now it is full suspension. The stem on this one feels pretty solid. I like how it latches down. It's always interesting to see how different scooters do that latch on front. Some of them can feel pretty sketch, a little sketch. This one feels pretty planted, pretty solid. Stem. There's like no adjustable height on them or anything, so that kind of gives it a little bit more rigidness. The whole thing kind of just bolts right on there. I thought this thing might be flapping around a bit, but it's not so far. So on dual motor, let's throw this thing on to sport mode now. One mode from the top. This is fine, man. So it doesn't feel like, excessive power. Some of these scooters can feel ridiculous, almost like hard to ride because they have so much power, but this one seems like sufficiently powerful. And running out here on this road on sport mode, not on top mode yet, we're going 28, and we'll bump it on up to race mode now. Gives you just a bit more juice, still feels pretty manageable. Going into headwind, hitting about 35. They say I could top out at 40. We'll try in a minute. And we do have turn signals now. Those lights on the rear don't really stick out too much for, turn signals and that. I tried to turn over there, but I just feel like the cars back there weren't seeing me, and I decided to pop off over here. Yeah, so turn signal is on. See it down there? Maybe in the nighttime it'd be a little better. Probably wouldn't rely on those too much though. Other thing I am noticing about this scooter is it is only 75 pounds, which isn't really too crazy for some of these scooters. Some of them with the more power, the bigger batteries, they can start getting pretty freaking heavy pretty quickly. And after I put my shades on, I can just really not even see that screen hardly at all. Forcing me to get a bit of workout with a push off. So now with everything on max settings, race mode, dual motor, we'll give it a 0 to 20. We'll see if we can see the 20 on there. And also I have to give it a bit of a push off. So 200-pound rider, ready? Okay. And 10, 15, 20. So, it's not like insane, but I really don't see any reason why you would ever need to accelerate faster than that on an electric scooter. Now brakes, you might need to use if somebody's coming at you head on. And it did say EABS. I don't feel any regen brake or anything activating. We might need to get into the settings. So we'll check out the menus here in a bit if we need to. Scooter gang, what? Now to talk about suspension and feel on this one a little bit. So on the deck, there's like really no like rubber padding or anything. Now sometimes some of these scooters will have like rubber padding on there. So it's just like one more, you know, layer element between you and the ground. So we got them big rubber tires on there, taking the first layer of impact and some, you know, okay springs. You know, it's not like Olin suspension or anything, you know, Fox 40s or anything suspension. Like, it's pretty basic suspension. So I mean, you can feel some of the bumps and that coming up, like all these little cracks. I can kind of feel them a little bit, but we are insulated at the same time. But moving along this smooth pavement, you know, this is fine. Like, I'm 100% comfortable. If the pavement does get a little bit dicey, you will feel some bumps coming up through this deck though. Get this camera tilted down and do a max speed run. From a dig, go. So 20 pretty quickly, and then 30 pretty quickly as well. They say 40 is the max. Watch out, bro. Hitting, it says 40 on the onboard, and my GPS here is lagging behind a bit per use, saying 36. Now I weigh 200 pounds, so the lighter the rider, the higher the top speed. It says 41 on the onboard, 37 on my GPS. Yeah, right around 37 on my GPS, 41 on the onboard. Is there a little regen brake happening? I think there might have been actually at higher speed. So bro, 37, 40 miles an hour, like bro, how much faster does anybody ever need to go on 10-inch wheels? So we're gonna get out here on the bike path, cruise along, test the range on this thing. We'll try the Cali incline, try these brakes, and see where we end up on final range here in a bit. So the shorter 10-inch wheels, I'd say definitely keep on the street, especially with this tread pattern. Definitely will be no sand riding happening today on any electric scooter. Deck size on this one, I would say, is kind of on the compact side of things, you know, like the length of it anyway. The back foot area, I find like a good place to plant my foot. I do like that it has that little rubber sticky pad on the place for your back foot, so you're not gonna slip off of there. Chill day out here in Venice, bro. And this one has the trigger style overhand trigger style, which is cool. Oh, little wheel spin there. So it allows you to kind of activate the trigger with one finger, and then you still have other fingers for your brakes. More like one finger for throttle, one finger for rear brake, two fingers to hang on to the steering wheel here. Yes, it's a steering wheel, not handlebar. What is wrong with me, bro? So I brought my homework out here. Let's get in these settings, see about deactivating that push start. Oh yeah, so P11 is EABS brake force level, ranging 1 to 5. 0 means off, 1 is the weakest. Default is 3. I wasn't really feeling it too much, so we'll dial it up. Oh, and they have a soft start. So it is on default 3 for soft start. So this thing could launch harder, I guess, if you dial that up. Oh, it has cruise control too. P17. 0 start is P9. So we're gonna go to P9. And P10, oh no, P11, it says the EABS is on setting 3, but on 5, which is the strongest EABS setting. And let's just change the soft start up to 5 as well. It was on 3, so we should have the hardest launch now. And then cruise control is on 17. I passed 17, dang it. Dang it, did it again. It skips over 16, so careful there. Yeah, there we go. Went on 1, so we should have cruise on. I don't know how to activate it, we'll find out. Also, it will go into park mode after you let it sit for just a little bit, kind of like a safety feature. So now we have the 0 start feature turned off. We should be able to, yeah, rip it from a dig. There we go. So now we don't need to push off anymore. Now, this will reduce your range a little bit. Probably not too much though. Yeah, bro, turning off that 0 start, or turning on the 0 start and dialing this thing up to max settings really dials things up quite a bit. Might be able to get a better 0 to 20 time in from a dig. Let's give it a rip. Ready, go. Yeah, a little wheel spin there, and 20. So, yeah, rip's pretty good now. I don't even recommend turning those settings up, because now it makes it feel like a little bit more untamed, unhinged, a little more zippy, but if that's what you're looking for, it is more fun. Not sure I feel that EABS kicking in quite yet though. This thing is solid. on the power now. Oh yeah, EABS definitely kicks on. I feel like it doesn't make much of a difference though. Like, it's like you feel the EABS at high speed. Yeah, I can definitely feel it a lot more now. But like once you start getting slowed down too much, like after below like 5 or 10, I think it like turns off after you get below like 5 or 10 miles an hour. Changing that soft start really changed the scooter up. Now we might end up burning through that battery a lot faster because, you know, the battery on this one isn't like insanely huge, which helps keep the weight down and make it more rideable, and then also giving it obviously like the higher power delivery and no push-off start. A little bit unhinged now. So it does have cruise control once you get into the settings. I activated it, as you can see. This thing is just throttling itself now, so in theory you could just chill and ride this thing no hands. I wouldn't recommend ever taking a hand off the wheel now, bro. That dude is about to do a freaking 360. So I've just been on cruise control chilling on my way over to the California incline, 85-foot climb, 12% grade. Let's give it a rip. And now that I unlocked, you know, all the acceleration and everything, I feel like just single motor eco mode is really all you need. But I'm gonna dial it up to race mode, dual motor for this section, and we'll see how it does. So yeah, it's you can hear the front tires breaking free. It'd probably be a little bit more in control still if I didn't unlock the full power of this thing, but there we go. Climbs with ease. And for the main portion of the California incline, we'll go ahead, hop on, full throttle, a little bit of wheel spin, showing 15, 23, hitting 30, got a skateboard going down, no brakes on that thing, hitting 31, 32, ripping, brah. Showing basically around 30 miles an hour and cruise control activated. So, and the EABS kicking in on the way up the hill. So I'd say sufficiently powerful, budget-friendly electric scooter. So mechanical brakes are obviously, you know, pretty budget stuff, but the thing that saves it is the EABS on here. So you just pull those levers in just a little bit, and once we max out the EABS setting, it's actually pretty powerful. And then, oh my goodness. And then as mentioned, after you get down to about 10 miles an hour, it just doesn't activate that anymore. So the regen brake will, you know, in theory, recharge the battery a bit. It's not gonna add much. That's just kind of how it works. And then once you get down to like, you know, slower speeds, you have to feel the mechanical brakes, which, you know, they don't feel great compared to hydraulics, but they get the job done. This thing's juicy now, man. We'll throw it on race mode here, dual motor, get up to around 20. Back brake is on the left, typical of electric scooters, opposite of electric bikes. And we'll pull on the brake levers. So yeah, mechanical brakes are actually strong. You know, they just feel mechanically, not the greatest braking feel, but EABS is real smooth. So when you're going a little bit faster, you know, like 30 or something, and then you pull on the brake lever just a bit, this is all regen brake, and then yeah, right around 15, the regen cuts off. So that's cool, that works. Bro, this is all the freaking scooters coming through right here. What the heck? Scooter takeover. Just keep coming and coming and coming. So the Ausom L2 Max, I mean, for the price, you know, under $1,000, what you get, I mean, 38 miles an hour, how much faster do you really need to go? We'll see where we end up on range, but you know, the weight of this scooter is really not too bad. It feels like pretty nimble, pretty peppy electric scooter. We've got that EABS to help save you on the brake pads, get a little bit of charge back in your scooter. And before you unlock all the throttle response and the zero start, this is, I would say, a pretty beginner friendly power level, but after you unlock it, this thing will keep you happy for a while, I would say, man. Can't really imagine why anybody would need more power than this scooter has. So if you do want to grab one, use that link down below the video. Buy through that link. It would help support my reviews on juice, joyrides, and also get you the best price on this scooter. So let's head on home, check the final range. So on the way home, cruising in the 30s is no problem for this scooter, man. And we got cruise control now, but going this fast is definitely gonna wear the battery out. All right, bro, just rolling back into the neighborhood. Let's see where we ended up on final range. Oh yeah, regen brake. So it looks like we're rolling up on 17, just over 17 miles. Average speed was about 14 miles an hour. Did the whole route in an hour and 14 minutes. So that's definitely quicker than usual for that route. And if we look down here on the display, readout is showing 3 out of 5 battery bars on the display. Voltage is reading 46.7 volts. So we're pretty much down to under a half charge. And that was me at 200 pounds, basically ripping on this thing, unlocked, you know, the full acceleration, top speed runs, dual motor runs. So obviously you could, you know, you could do way better on range than I'm doing here today. But the nice thing about range on this one is, you know, the battery on this one is not like excessively huge. Therefore, you have a somewhat more, you know, manageable electric scooter. You could actually like pick it up, you know, carry it up some stairs, an apartment if you need to, and still get, you know, I'd say a pretty darn good ride in. Because I mean, how much further than, you know, say 40 miles are you really going to want to do on any electric scooter? Standing on these things gets to be a little fatiguing after a while. So if you do want to grab one of these, use that link down below the video. Buy it through that link. It would help support my reviews on Juice Joyrides. I greatly appreciate your support, and also use my little coupon code down there to get the best price.